Hey guys, it's Tech Weekly, episode 45. It's
Saturday, April 23rd, 2011.
Yep.
You know, Jay, we got a lot of news stories. I don't even know if we're going to get through all these because we got Carlo on the line as well. Amazon had some major cloud outages and it brought down Reddit and Quora and some other services, and we're going to talk about that. Also, the PSN has been out for multiple days now. A lot of people are getting mad with the release of Portal. We're going to talk about a new peripheral that we've already talked about on Gadget Gurus, but I wanted to hit on it again, that is going to be released with Portal in the summer. And then finally, we're going to talk about Apple tracking their users via their GPS on their iPhone. And a lot of people are discouraged about that, and I'm going to give you my take. I've got an interesting take on that. And we're going to talk about some more stuff as well, all this week.
from Tech Weekly.
Episode 45.
Oh, yeah.
Hey guys, how's it going?
What is up, Jacob? And Carlo, how you doing today?
Hot.
Hot.
Very hot.
Yeah, we were having a conversation. It's about 70 some odd degrees Fahrenheit, where Carlo is. What'd you say? 21 degrees Celsius, right?
Yeah,
And
it's 21 Celsius, and that's about 69.8 Fahrenheit. Blooming hot.
yeah, and Jacob and I are both recovering. Jacob, I think you're pretty much on the way.
I'm not really recovering. I just got an extra little bit of snot in my chesticles.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's a beautiful day today. I'm sorry to say that we're probably gonna have some more tornadoes and stuff on Tuesday or Wednesday night. So,
Yay, storm.
woo!
Everybody needs to chill down.
So, yeah. Let's go ahead and jump into the first news story here. And Jet, we alluded to it because we now do the intro before, so assuming you've already watched the intro.
If you just skipped 30
Yeah.
seconds ahead, well then...
This has been a hot topic the last couple days. Amazon's cloud storage. A lot of people trust Amazon for cloud storage. They're really fast. A lot of people, Jacob, even with WordPress sites, they'll do stuff like they'll outsource some of their content, especially like pictures and videos and things, to Amazon's E3 or their E2 cloud services. And they do that, but then they also have a full hosting. You can actually host your website on their servers as well. And places like Quora and Reddit, you know, you think, when I think of places not going down, first of all, I think of Facebook, they're rarely down. Google's rarely down. Amazon rarely down. So I would probably put my trust in Amazon to host my service. And some pretty high quality web services like Reddit and Quora had done so. But yesterday, I think it was yesterday. Maybe it was, Carlo, you know, was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? It was
It's about 2 days ago.
Yeah, 2 days ago. Amazon E3 and E2, some of their E2 went down as well.
Someone went, hey, what does this do?
Yeah.
Boom.
The first thing to come out of it was no one could get onto the PlayStation Network. So that was
Yeah.
that was the first thing to come out of it. All is the biggest thing.
And we're going to talk about that later. I have a couple questions. I don't know if you know anything about it, Carlo, why the PSN would actually... I would think that they'd have their own servers, but we're going to talk about that in a second. So, Jet, what do you
I
think?
didn't know they used Amazon servers. I thought they actually had their own stuff.
That's what I thought,
Sony
too.
and all, but
Yeah. I don't know if they have or not, and we're going to talk about what Sony has to say about their outage. But, Jet, if you were starting a company today, like, let's just say that we wanted to make let's just say that we're in Kevin Roche's shoes now, and we wanted to start up Dig today. Let's just say we're going to start up Dig if Dig didn't exist. Would you, like, trust Amazon or any other service to do things like that? If you're anticipating, millions of users to be logging on your site, would you trust Amazon, or would you actually, or would you try to, trust some other service? I mean,
I would probably want somebody that's like,
actually in the business, maybe.
yeah.
Which
not
I think,
like, hey, we sell stuff, we do some video rentals, and we'll do some hosting too. Why don't we, you know what I'm saying?
now I know a lot of developers listening to Dan Benjamin and things. He really trusts Amazon's cloud services, and a lot of people trust them. I know Forest, a developer community that we talked about before, uses them. There's so many startups that are using them nowadays. I have mixed feelings about this because honestly, I think I would trust Amazon just about as much as somebody like Media Temple or
GeoCities.
GeoCities.
Do they even exist now?
No, they Yahoo phased them out.
I emailed a guy the other day that had Juno.com still. I was like, really? You need to upgrade, dude. He was on HughesNet with Juno.com.
Yeah. So, anyway,
How?
Caller, what do you? I mean, do you? I think that I could trust Amazon just as much as any other hosting provider because I think Amazon has kind of transformed into a hosting provider. But I guess this is just something. If you don't run your own servers like a Facebook or a Google would, I guess you're gonna deal with these things. You know?
I know Amazon's usually pretty reliable.
Yeah.
I know they do backup service and a lot of people use it for their servers. They're usually reliable most of the time. So that's why them going down like this is pretty much a big deal.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they usually go down like this or they suffer from such major outages before.
Yeah.
And I don't know personally if I would use them. I don't know if I don't have a use for that kind of thing at the moment. I don't know if that would be the first thing that popped in my head if I wanted to use a service like that. But I guess when they're working normally, I consider it.
So Smoothie's asking a very interesting question. Why are they down? And they actually had one of their largest servers. Actually, I mean, it was something that could have been preventable.
fluke?
Yeah, it was just one of their main servers just went down. I mean,
It was
just,
a delayed
yeah.
Y2K problem.
Yeah, that was it.
Well, they're blaming it on hackers supposedly.
That's what the PSN is saying too. Now,
I heard it was 4chan. I'm just saying.
4chan are responsible for my headset. Just
Yeah.
saying.
that's what they're doing.
I heard them on there. They're like, get Carlos' headset now. Go.
Oh, they can keep it.
Yeah.
Hold on here. I'm trying to take care of something. All right. Anyway, Jeff. So let's move on to our next story. Google. Jeff, we talked about this before. Apple and also Google have actually had issues with GrooveShark. Apple just completely said you're not going to be on the iPhone anymore because you don't really agree. We don't really agree with what you're doing, and you're not following, our guidelines and things. So they actually
very strict guidelines that they
Yeah.
have.
But anyway, Google is actually have been there. I don't know. How would you describe this? Let me just read the first part here. So, a watchdog group is also a longtime Google ally on copyright issues has accused the company of being hypocritical when recently removed the controversial music app from its app store. 2 weeks ago, CNET reported that GrooveShark, a music service, provides access to songs by enabling users to post their own music to the site. They actually banned it from the Android market, and now GrooveShark and some other organizations are actually coming back at them and saying this isn't right. You can't do this. But the same thing that Apple did. Now we don't see Google taking too many apps out of the marketplace. You see it a couple times. There was a couple banking apps a few months ago that actually had malicious software in them. That's usually the only time that you see Google removing something from the App Store. But anyway, yeah. So that's pretty cool. What are you doing?
I don't know.
So, Jeff, what do you think about that? I mean, do you think? I think Google ultimately has the rights to ban whoever they want or kick whoever they want from the marketplace. Oh my gosh. So yeah, just
But-
like I just did. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like I just hope that Google just takes a chill pill and doesn't go the route of Apple's all fine and dandy, but sometimes their logistics and not logistics, just like their ways of doing things sometimes get in the way of their success.
Yeah.
So I hope Google doesn't go that route and starts like banning apps and you don't meet our guidelines and all this crap and we got to go through reviews to get your app on the marketplace. And I'm like, that's the whole point of open source, is to be able to get your stuff out there and not have to do all that. I mean, yeah, they don't want people like putting up an app that that just like roots your phone or something.
So, Carla, what do you think about this? Because it is something that we've seen Apple do hundreds of, probably even thousands of times to apps that they didn't feel worthy of being in the App Store, either because of what they did or also how they were designed or whatever. I think Google may be trying to dodge some complaints from different copyright. I know that Google wouldn't ultimately be in charge of that, but GrooveShark has always been an interesting service that I've never really understood how they actually operated, because it's a free. I mean, Jacob, if you wanted to, you and I could both go on there and listen to however much music we wanted to. Now, of course, they have ads, but we're not paying for any. We're not paying for the rights to that music or anything. I mean, I don't have a problem with this, Carlo. I mean, do you seem to have any issues with this?
I can't even get that here.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Doesn't bother me, but I personally think with this, I think Google's basically turning into Apple as far as the App Store thing goes, because they didn't release the code for, I believe it was Honeycomb, and now they're getting restrictive on apps going into the App Store.
Yeah, they're starting to get locked
so-
down, and it's not turning out.
There's
to
some
be-
of the lockdown stuff, yeah. I think they're getting a bit Apple-like with all of this stuff.
yeah, I think there's a fine line that you walk in between that, because honestly, I don't really like the stance that Apple takes, because I've seen application developers be denied just because the UI wasn't quite right or something.
Yeah, it's hard to get into the
Yeah.
App Store, and I don't like the particular way that they do that either. But I don't know. You get what you get, don't you? It's not really up to you. You just if it's there, you get it. If it's not,
Yeah,
mm.
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought that was interesting, since we're pretty big fans of GrooveShark. Now, Jack, we've talked about this before, and how you could use something like the Square Reader, the credit card reader, with an iPhone or an Android phone, and actually take invoices and things directly from your phone. That's all you'd have to have, because you've got a 3G connection, you've got a touch screen. Really, that's all you need, right? And Apple has obviously recognized this, and they're going to start selling the Square credit card readers in their Apple stores. So if you, yeah, there you go. Right here, this is the little Square credit card reader, and essentially it's just got a little slot at the top, and you swipe your credit card, and as long as you have the Square application open, you can make transactions, and you can actually link it to different bank accounts and things. It's pretty cool, and yeah. And then also you can sign for things. That's the cool thing about having a touch screen. I think it's pretty cool that Apple is actually supporting Square in this way, because you used to have to actually order from Square.com, or whatever their website is. I think it's pretty cool. I think that shows that Apple values a technology like this, and sometimes sometimes Apple seems to be kind of, they want you to buy their proprietary products that use the 30-pin connector or whatever, but I like to see Apple supporting someone like this, and it's pretty cool.
And that just plugs in through their
It actually,
headset.
yeah, the headphone jack.
So it's
It's
just
definitely a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't know what to think about it much myself, because I believe I can actually get it over here in the UK. So until we can, I don't really know what to say on it, really.
So it's only $10.
Yeah.
That's
Because
kinda,
all it is just like a little reader that you just stick in your phone, and
yeah,
and
but
the
I mean,
app
still,
itself
dude,
is-
I can see somebody. If I had something like this, I could see easily charging $30. I mean, comparative to what any other add-on to a, like the camera connectors, like $35.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know that Square is not obviously directly associated with Apple, but
They
still,
figured they'd get. There's probably fees associated with doing this too. I would
don't-
assume.
yeah.
How like sort of PayPal takes 5% or something. I would assume that just like if you had a credit card machine in your store, they charge you so much per transaction. So they probably would charge you anyways. And they're sort of like, here's the card reader, go and do as many transactions as you want, and we're gonna charge you money for it.
Yeah.
I don't see them letting you use their servers, their transaction servers
for free.
for free.
I haven't looked into this, but I still think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really the only thing out there that does this. I mean, I know there's other things, but this was always the first one. And I'm reading here on Engadget. It says it turns out that you can get a $10 redemption code in the box when you buy the Square Reader from an Apple store, so you actually get it for free. That's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, even if you have to pay for the service, I would still get it for free and maybe not activate the service.
Yeah.
Because that'd be something cool to maybe. Yeah, but Linux Lifer is saying it could be a service charge, like you were saying, per transaction. But honestly, I know at my mom's office they have to pay a service charge for any transaction that they would do with a credit card machine anyway. So, I mean,
You only get service charges over here if you use a machine that's not linked to your bank.
yeah, that's
yeah.
how it is here too.
And we have some banks over here that will actually like absorb that charge on their end, but after a while they're just like, yeah. So
Yeah, so let's move on to some Android news here. This is from Mashable. The A Fund, which is a group of investors, have essentially bet $100 million on the Android ecosystem. I kind of put this in here because it shows that investors are valuing what Android is doing, different things, so they're actually going to support Android. They've actually essentially put $100 million on the line. I think it's pretty cool because anytime I see someone supporting Android, that always gives me a glimpse of hope that, there's different development going on, and also people are still supporting it. And honestly, I think Android is moving. Android is definitely probably the second. Honestly, in my opinion, it's close to rivaling iOS in my opinion, but I know that a lot of people wouldn't agree with me there. But it's definitely the second best mobile operating system that we've seen as of now.
yeah.
And I would be happy with, I'm happy with. I know some applications, you've seen them, that actually have the same UI as an iPhone that they just ported directly. Like, they didn't even change the UI. All they did was change the code over to like a Java runtime where it can actually run on Android. But
Yeah.
anyway, I don't know. Pretty interesting here, seeing investors get behind the Android ecosystem and things like that. Right now, Android has actually grown in the last 12 months 861%. So it's still on the rise, very much so. And there's more than 250,000 Android applications in the market, and millions of Android devices around the world. So that's pretty cool. That kind of encourages me as well for tablet development, because I'd like to see some of the bigger application developers that are already developing for Android porting some of their applications over to like 10.1 inch screens like the Zoom and things. What do you do?
I don't know.
Anyway, that's pretty cool. I just thought that was interesting.
I'd like to see less like cheapo 2.1 tablets out there. And
I would
more,
too, Carlo.
more honeycomb tablets, even Froyo. There's too many cheapo 2.1 tablets out there giving Android a bad name right now.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see that over the coming year, but I think faster was always better. I think the Acer, is it the Asus or the Ace? I think it's Asus, the Transform, I think it's called. That one looks
The
pretty
one with the
sweet.
two screens.
Is it the two? No, that's the Icona. That's from Acer. I'm talking about the one that has the keyboard dock. A lot of people on YouTube have had it for review, I think.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
The Icona was pretty cool, though. We had mentioned that one
Yeah,
was,
we saw that one.
Yeah, we spotlighted that
Yes.
on Gadget Gurus, so that was pretty cool. Anyway, I'm kind of interested. I'm still sticking with my iPad as of now, but if there's like a, say, $450 or $500 tablet it would probably have to be maybe a dual core, maybe a Tegra 2, something like that, for me to actually, look at it pretty heavily. But anyway, definitely have to be running a Honeycomb before I would ever even consider buying it. But anyway, pretty cool. So Jeff, this is another interesting story that we talked about earlier in the year that, AT&T had actually, we thought, acquired T-Mobile, I guess. Well, they actually filed their merger papers this weekend. A lot of people were hoping that the deal wouldn't go through because a lot of people on T-Mobile are kind of mad because T-Mobile has always signified to me maybe a lesser service, but T-Mobile's been pretty cheap. I'm not gonna lie. I mean,
Well,
over the years,
And also, T-Mobile has always been the forerunner. Well, was the forerunner in Android.
Mhm.
They were the first ones to have an Android device. Then everybody followed suit. But like,
they still really are because they still have the Google. They still have the developer phone only on T-Mobile.
I
technically.
hope what they do is they just AT&T procures T-Mobile, but that's it.
Like,
They don't dabby into their stuff. They don't try to change their billings. They don't try to do this or that. You know, because
maybe change the logo to a different color. That's about the extent you want. Really.
yeah.
I think that's more likely than having a full just all T-Mobile customers are AT&T, especially at the front of the acquisition. I think it's going to be very hard for them to do. That would be a major. I mean, you're talking T-Mobile is still what the third largest mobile corporation in the U.S. I mean, I would probably say that T-Mobile has more of a market share than Sprint does.
Well, T-Mobile's real big in the West Coast.
Yeah, it's not as big here. I mean, it's still.
It seemed like everybody that I ever like when the G1 first came out. Okay,
Yeah.
T-Mobile was the only one that had it, and
Right. They were the only one that had it in the U.S. Really. I mean, you could get it on.
So I went over to L.A. just the same time when all that came out, and like it seemed like everybody had a stinking G1 over there, and most of the people over there are only going to have it for T-Mobile, not, like
Yeah.
I did with the
Well, I mean-
developer phone and stuff.
Yeah, but you had it on Edge on 3. You didn't even have 3G on AT&T, right?
Yeah, because of T-Mobile's
Yeah, 'cause the bands.
frequencies.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of with Jacob. I hope that I really have no reason to say this because I'm not a T-Mobile subscriber or anything, but I would have to say that I would kind of like to see T-Mobile just be set aside, maybe under AT&T's reigns, maybe, but still have like just be T-Mobile and maybe have like an orange logo or something. That's about
Well,
it.
Over here, T-Mobile and Orange, they merged together, and they don't really touch each other's stuff. They just let each other's customers use each other's masts and stuff.
yeah,
That's what I would hope
Nothing
to
much
see.
changed
That would be cool.
after it happened. So if they do something like that, then it could be beneficial for the both of them.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we're all like, oh my gosh. I give it like 10 years. This is just Jacob's profit speaking abilities here. No, I'm just kidding. I give it 10 years, and we're gonna have 2, maybe 1 cell phone company.
I think that's a pretty good prediction because
Yeah, and you know who the name of that company is gonna be?
Verizon.
Google.
Oh,
Just saying. I've called it right here.
I could see
Mark
that.
today. You know.
Yeah, that's what Smoothie's saying as well. Is we're getting deathly closer to a monopoly, the monopolization of cell phone services. I mean, in the U.S., you've always had for cell phone services, really been one of the only things that is not not a monopoly. You have essentially, cable providers and internet service providers that are all monopolized because
Oh, yeah.
right now if you want to get
If you want cable
internet,
or TV, cable TV, in the state of Alabama, you have to use Charter. The end. Well,
there's some exceptions, but other
some places
Yeah.
you have Cable One, but at the end of the day, it all goes back to Charter.
Yeah.
It's all Charter's pipelines. It's all Charter's fiber optics. And what's really confusing is that at some point in that line, it switches over to AT&T. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Fiber optic, cable's fiber optic,
yeah.
telephone's fiber optic. At one point in time, it switches over to AT&T's fiber optic system, and then you're all on AT&T. So at the end of the day, AT&T will be the
And we
the
still-
superpower. And
We still don't have a good option. I know they have rolled FiOS out in a small portion of.
and it sucks because I'm across the street and I can't get it. Literally, you walk to the other side of the street over by my house, and everybody else has it.
Yeah, that's what
I know
Smith.
what that one's like. I literally, before about a few months ago, I was not able to get cable internet because they had it across the street and I couldn't get it here. But they actually recently put it down here, so in about a month or two, I'm going to be on super fast cable. I hope.
Yay!
Yeah, Smoothie is saying actually, right here where we're sitting, we cannot get UVerse, and it's kind of weird because you can get UVerse in a less densely populated area,
Basi-
10 miles south
Yeah.
than you could here, which is weird.
Basically, what it comes down to is if enough people request it,
They'll probably
they'll
do
put it out there. Like if 10 people or more request it, they'll put a little hub there in your area, and then you'll be able to get it.
Now, I learned something this week, Joe, that UVerse is not fiber to the house. UVerse is fiber to the street corner, and then they use the existing. So they'll have like a node or something out, whatever you would call it,
Yeah.
out at the street, and then they would feed. What they do is they cut the the copper, I guess, or what? Yeah, they would cut the existing cable and they run it to the house, so there's no additional. All they do is install it at the street. They don't have to run it to every house. But FiOS is actually fiber directly into your
Yes.
house, which is
a lot better.
yeah, a lot better. But that
Because
means yeah.
as soon as you get switched over on the cable side of it, you instantly lose all your speed. So, like, if Google ever came to your city and installed their fiber
It would be
internet,
hi- it would
you'd
be
be
fiber
all the way to your house. Actually, pretty much all the way to your computer for the well, not to your computer, to a gigabit switch somewhere in your house,
yeah.
which would be pretty sweet because they would basically offer it for free, and you would be messing yourself constantly.
That would be awesome.
Oh yeah, I'd love to have free 100 megabit down.
Oh yeah.
That would be awesome.
Who wouldn't?
So Jeb, our next story, and here is it's an interesting story. It really doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about, but Facebook celebrated their first the like button celebrated its first birthday on Facebook this week, and we saw. A long time ago, we had people petitioning, I guess, before they implemented this, petitioning for a like button. They got it, and then they were petitioning for a dislike button.
Like, we want all of it. I'm sorry, but if you had a dislike button on Facebook, it would be the number one used object
Oh, it
on
always
Facebook.
would.
Because we'd be like, yeah, I don't like that. And then it'd make you feel better. It'd make you feel bad about yourself because then you'd be all like, oh, look at this cool thing. And then like 50 people dislike it. And you're like, crap, why did I do that?
Or if you don't like it, just don't hit the like button.
I know.
I know, but
Hit the X.
I think people want I think people want.
They want to show their
Yeah.
dislike. They just don't want to sit behind the scenes and not tell
which
you that they
isn't.
don't like
I don't think that's right, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want a yeah button. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah is not as bad as dislike. Thumbs down
yeah.
is way worse than you're like in between. You're like, I don't know.
Yeah. Smoothie saying, see what happened to the Rebecca Black video on YouTube. 2.2 million dislikes. 89%.
Me.
Yeah, 89% of, or last time I looked at it,
Rebecca Black just needs to jump off a cliff and die.
89%.
Enough of that.
It's crazy. I don't. Somebody did like an Earth Day remix. I'm tired of this stuff. Of course, it will always go away. We saw The Bed Intruder, which I think was better than Rebecca Black. It wasn't. It still wasn't great. I mean, it wasn't
Yeah,
like.
but still, like, I'm sorry. I don't.
But
It was
89
one of those sad attempts at trying to become Justin Bieber, the next Bieber fever, and
Which is
they both
already
need to
bad.
hold hands and jump off a cliff. I'm just saying.
Absolutely. I'll even help him on the way there.
You'll drive them up there.
Oh yeah. Well, if I could drive, I'll just go and hijack something and just like run
There
them
you
up
go.
there.
Oh gosh. So Jeff, I wanted to throw this in here because this is something that we talked about.
Oh wait, that's Carlo.
We talked about this on Gadget
I
Gurus.
play with this, and it's awesome.
You play with it? You saw this at CES?
Yes, it was at CES.
Maybe
They
that's
were
why we
playing-
talked about it.
They were playing Portal with it, and it was awesome.
Yeah, so the Razer Hydra motion controller is going to get a summer release, so we're looking at June or July. It's going to be $140 bundled with Portal 2.
And just to let you guys know what this actually is, you might, oh, it's another Wii controller. Completely
not.
different. It uses a magnetic field. It doesn't use infrared motion capturing. Magnetic fields, each one of those like little things, actually, I don't know if it's that detects the magnetic field or if it's the other way. I think it's that detects the magnetic field, and the actual remotes put off a magnetic field. And what happens, or it's the other way around, I don't know. But basically, what happens is this thing can track like very very high precision, like a millimeter resolution or something stupid when you move, and it can tell exactly in any space where you are relative to that controller. So, and it's both controllers can do this. So you basically have two mouses, 3D mouses for that much, in the game now, and you can do stuff that you cannot even imagine to do with a mouse and keyboard with Portal.
Really?
Yes, like they have these. They call them was it physics blocks or something like that, and basically it's a block. You know, the companion cubes.
Oh yeah.
And physic cubes or something like that.
Yeah.
And you can stretch them, and when you stretch them, their mass actually increases to the actual relative size if they were made out of that much concrete or steel or whatever they're made of. So you can stretch it, but you can hold it with one hand with the grav gun, hold it up in the air, and then with this one you can stretch it. And I mean, it's really intuitive
Yeah.
on how it works and everything. And
So this is the first
pretty
time we've
sweet.
seen a price point, and we spotlighted this. I guess it was when we were talking about CES. Now that you say that you've played with it, I honestly $140. If you're thinking what $60 for the PC game,
yeah,
come on,
the
dude.
game's practically $60.
I think that's a good option right there. I mean, 80. What? Yeah. It's just,
Well, and I think they actually offer the game without it. This is just a bundle.
oh yeah. I already have the game for
Yeah.
Xbox, but you
So
know,
I mean, you don't have to go out there. It's not like to play Portal, you don't have to get the controller, but the
No,
controller's
but it's
stinking
awesome.
awesome.
yeah.
Because I see people getting a hold of this thing and doing some stuff with it and making it uber cool.
Yeah.
And
Now I have Portal 2. I've played a little bit of it. I'm almost through Chapter 1. I'm gonna have to say it's just as good as Portal 1.
yeah,
And
they add a lot more things to make it that much more difficult. But as soon as you get the controller, there is a completely different way to play the game.
So-
100% different way to play. Like you've probably gotten to the level where you gotta like break through that glass and stuff. Okay.
it's one of the first ones actually.
Yeah. You know, how'd you break through the glass?
Well, I was using an Xbox controller, so.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're saying that?
What they do with this thing is he goes out there and gets a cube
Yeah.
and just stretches the cube so that it's this massive object and then drops it and it breaks through the glass.
Dude.
I mean, it's a completely different way to play the game.
That's pretty awesome.
You can control like while you're holding the object, you can actually with the other controller
Manipulate it and things.
you can rotate the object, you can do all this stuff to it that you can't do with a mouse and keyboard. There's just no physical way that you have as many fingers to be able to do all that. And they add it with this thing, and it's just like you just rotate your wrist and it does it.
And also have 12 launch titles that it's already compatible with. They actually don't have these listed. I was going to look and see, but it's compatible
It's really
with
sweet.
Portal 1 and Portal 2. I'm looking on here.
Yeah. I have a feeling that they're going to put out a patch for Portal 1 to make it just completely different way to play in 2.
That would be pretty awesome.
So I'm just saying, it's pretty sweet. I saw it firsthand at CES.
That would have been a great thing to have that bad boy on this dude.
Because you stick a big old mic and a flashlight up in a dude's face, and he'll talk to you about anything. I'm just saying. You see this bad boy come up, and you're like, hey, tell me about that thing. And he's like, oh, okay, this is awesome. I'm going to be on TV. But he's not. But, you know.
So, Carla, you told me on Twitter that you're probably you already said that you would probably pick it up, Portal 2 later. I think, Jeff, let me just tell you what I got. I got a $15 gift card from Best Buy for buying it on launch day, the Xbox or PS3 version. Now, I'm not a PC gamer, so
Well, I might get the Mac version at some point. I managed to get number 1 free
oh, that's
when
cool.
on the launch day of the Mac version of Steam, and I went through it a bit, and it was all right.
Yeah.
Not my usual kind of thing, but it was a nice time killer, and I possibly might get hold of number 2 in maybe a few months, and the price drops if it does.
Yeah, and doesn't Steam for Mac, doesn't it let you play any of the games, or is it only certain ones?
Steam for Mac has particular games which you can basically get on the Mac, and you can get it for Windows 2 and
Yeah.
vice versa. But it's only
Yeah,
a
but it's
select-
not like every Windows game for
No,
Steam
it
can
has
be
to be
played
developed
on the
Not
Mac.
for
all
the
of
Mac.
them. No, it has to be certain games.
Yeah.
It's not all Valve games. There are other particular games as well.
'Cause-
Civilization 5 is one of them.
Yeah, if
Um,
they could have made like a like a
Port or something that
yeah,
ported
like an
everything.
emulator, not an emulator, but to where like the actual program
That
for
would be
Steam would let you play any game. That'd been pretty sweet. But
And
But one of them I've got is Torchlight. I originally bought that on Windows, and there wasn't a Mac version. I got the Mac version for free later on, and whenever I play on the Mac, I can basically it will save my save game on the cloud, and I can go onto a Windows PC later on and I can carry on where I left off.
see,
That's
one
pretty
of the,
sweet.
that's one of the pluses of having Steam.
oh
yeah. So Smoothie saying that if you buy the PS3 version, because Sony actually launched a version of Steam for the PS3, so you actually get the Windows and Mac versions for free.
Yeah, so that's cool
downloaded.
that
You just
they're-
basically buy it once, and then you get the rest of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You
good.
have to pay for the Xbox version though. That's not part of
Yeah.
it apparently.
Yeah, because Xbox or Microsoft doesn't have compatibility for Steam built in, which I don't think they ever will because they have such a high market share with the Xbox
Well, because
Live.
they're Microsoft.
Oh,
Yeah. But I think it's pretty cool.
And it's also more revenue for them, than if you go buy it for PS3. Well, now PS3 gets the money for the game, and Microsoft gets nothing. So that's why the main reason why they do that is because, if you buy now, you got to go buy it for Xbox, and PS3 doesn't get any of that money. So it's like, it's
Yeah.
one of those whole like, what's his faces.
But they
So
also have the games for Windows on the PC as well. It's always been their version of their rival to Steam. So I don't think they'll be jumping to bed with Steam anytime soon.
Yeah.
so our next story here is a very highly debated story. Now I alluded to this in the intro that it came out this week that Apple has actually been tracking all its users through their GPS on their phone. Now we've heard this with Google before. This is not the first time this has come up. Google Latitude, and actually, if you turn that on, it like checks you in.
Well, yeah, it even tells you. It says when you turn it on, you have to agree to this little EULA
Yeah.
thing, and it even says, you have to pick. We can use this information for gathering whatever
any data that we want.
if you
essentially.
really, really read it. So I mean, you're fully whoa. Okay, you're if you read the EULA, you're fully aware of what's going on. And somebody's like, I didn't know that. Be like, did you read the thing when you hit I agree? Well, no. Well, you would have known it then. So,
Now, I don't know of any EULA that you have to agree to on iOS.
yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't think about that. I don't think there is one, and plus it's not Google tracking you either. But Carlo, does this shock you in a way, or I mean, it's
Not in the slightest. But
Yeah.
you pretty much sign any kind of agreement when you basically buy the phone from your carrier,
Oh, yeah.
or when you buy the phone from Apple or whatever, and it's got to track you to a certain extent. You've got the Find My iPhone feature tracks the phone.
I don't really see how
Um,
people think that even works if it's not tracking you. I mean,
Yeah.
how?
When
Yeah.
when you connect to the cell tower and you get your 3G, it's got to track you to say
Yeah.
where are you, what cell tower. do
Yeah,
I
it needs to
connect
know where you're at so that it can
Yeah.
redirect the calls to you.
And then when you use Foursquare and Gowalla, it's got to track you. So it's just a load of fuss over nothing. And personally, I don't care if Apple wants to track me. I'm always at home.
Yeah.
I'm always in one place anyway. So yeah, whatever.
Carlo has been sitting in the same place for 5 years.
I've been in this man cave since the dawn of time.
This can't be right. No. Now, I've seen a lot of people, and I think you guys know that, I do use Apple products, but I do tend to, I like my Android phone pretty well. Now, I thought it was kind of interesting because I remember exactly the day I was watching some podcast when it came out that Google was tracking us. Everybody's like, what? Oh my gosh, how could Google be tracking us? But now, and I'm pretty sure that was from some iPhone users, but now when it comes out that Apple's tracking you, oh, well, they just need that information.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't,
okay.
personally, I'm kind of like Carlo. For one thing, I don't really care if anybody tracks me. What are they going to gain from that? I mean, sure, somebody could, like, mob, I I don't know. Anyway, they're not going to gain anything really from tracking me. That's bad, essentially. Now, I think there should be an agreement, even though most people don't read it.
Well, I'm pretty sure that big, massive packet that they send you for your Apple iPhone,
I'm sure it has it in there.
it's got it in there, and it probably says at the bottom of it, we have the right to do anything we feel like. Probably somewhere in there.
Probably. Honestly, I don't have a problem with it at all.
But the day that they use that to like bust somebody for
Yeah.
doing something, that's the day when they
now,
cross
and
the
it has
line,
come out
probably.
that Apple has surrendered this data to police before. So that's kind of
So if you're a drug dealer, don't get an iPhone.
or an
At the end of the
Android
day.
phone.
Get a
No,
Nokia
I wouldn't
Symbian.
be surprised at all if by the time the next OS update comes out that they'll probably take this off or give you the option to turn it off. So it's just a little file
Yeah.
hidden inside the file system on the phone that saves all this data and then pushes it out to wherever. So there's a possibility they may well disable that in the next update. Just if enough people complain, they will anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is from CNET.com. We've talked about how Nokia has always been the leader in the mobile space in sales and stuff. Well, they've actually been surpassed by Apple, which I think is a pretty big accomplishment because, 4 years ago, there was nobody around the space who was even going to rival Nokia, honestly. That's weird. But, I think that shows how popular smartphones are getting because 85-90% of the phones that Nokia is selling today are not smartphones, probably higher than that because they haven't released a smartphone in at least 6 months. The last one that I remember is the N900. So,
Yeah. They sort of fallen to the wayside.
well, not on the smartphone level. We always think about smartphones, but still, smartphones are still the minority of every phone that is activated per day.
Yeah, but
I think that's the real stat that you want to look at. But,
come on.
But the next Nokia phone will be a Windows phone.
yeah, because
Oh, yeah.
we saw that partnership between Microsoft and Nokia, so I'm sure that's really going to help their sales.
But I don't think that's going to raise their sales that much.
Honestly,
there are people out there who like the Windows phone. Personally, I think it's ugly.
I think
that's
it's.
just me.
I've
People
always thought
like
it's. I've always thought it's too overdone, kind of.
Yeah, like
it's,
the whole
it's a
like
bit in your
scroll-
face.
Yeah, the
a
like
bit too, when you turn it on. I don't like for a while. I don't like the green. When you turn it on, you've got the green blocks. I think the green is a bit much. You can get blue,
Yeah, I think
I
they
believe
have
in the HTC
orange, maybe.
phone.
Yeah.
but I just don't like the way they've done it with the cubes and the blocks. So I much prefer the layout on the iPhone and on Android phones. You got the icons there and you swipe. It looks so much better.
yeah.
Now, it is. I will credit to Microsoft that they did do something different. I mean, Microsoft could have easily, essentially, looked at iOS and Android, and that's weird. And made a Windows Phone, iOS, Android knockoff. But I am happy that they did not go that route. I'm happy that they developed their own thing, but I'm not going to use it. That's the issue. So,
The end of the day.
yeah.
I like saying that. At
At
the end of the day.
I can pretty much guarantee I'll never own a Windows phone.
Yeah, I don't think I will either because for one thing, you have to. I would find myself not using. I find myself using Linux more and more every day, so probably going to be less support for a Windows phone on Linux. So you're probably going to have to run Windows, which obviously is the
Yeah,
first
and
problem.
if I owned a Windows phone, it'd probably have Android on it the next day. I'm just saying. The HD2, you can run Android on it right now, and it works pretty good. It's like the
It works
Evo,
like-
basically,
yeah.
but it's like
before it,
whatever. So
You can pretty much install Android on any phone as long as you can get access to the
yeah, if you can get the driver,
root
and
file
stuff.
or whatever.
Yeah.
yeah. So our next story here is the PlayStation Network still down. Actually, I haven't tested it because my PS3 isn't hooked up, but the developers are blaming hackers, like we talked about, with both Portal 2 and Mortal Kombat released this week.
Did
Steam.
you see up in Walmart?
I haven't been
Sorry,
there.
you hadn't even finished your article.
No,
but
go ahead.
up in Walmart, they had the easy ups. Oh, sorry, I'm like going to the wrong shots here. they had the easy ups because I want to show my hands like this. They had the easy ups over all the consoles.
Really? Wait, why was it? Why were the easy ups over the consoles if it's
They
inside?
had Mortal Kombat all across it. I think like they're originally supposed to use the easy up to like do something outside, but they're like, we're not doing this outside. We're doing it inside the electronics shop.
Why would they put the easy ups inside though? This is
It was
weird.
funny because it was like it said Mortal Kombat on it and all this stuff, and it was like it's here, it's gonna be here, and then it's like the easy up over all the consoles. I'm like, this is weird. Just saying.
I played Mortal Kombat 2. I think that's pretty much the only Mortal Kombat I've ever played.
Yeah.
Number 2 and 3. So I'm pretty much an old fart.
Yeah, and Sony is blaming hackers. I mean, I honestly, I don't. That doesn't surprise me. I think, I think the PSN is probably pretty robust that it's not going to go down just randomly. So, I mean, I guess it could go, but
Yeah, the white face mustache guy is kicking Sony's butt right now.
I don't know. I mean,
I'll be back next week.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then, plus, I expect most people who own a PlayStation also own an Xbox or a PC. So it's not making such much of a fuss of it. Just do something else until it comes back.
Yeah.
So our final story for the day is AT&T admits that the iPhone, or that their network cannot handle iPhone and iPad traffic.
Nice.
Honestly, I mean, could we not?
I mean, come on, for real?
I think everybody knew this. I mean,
Yeah.
if you look at San Francisco, New York, you literally can't get 3G service from AT&T in the whole city. I mean, you went out to CES. Not only is bandwidth, not only is 3G
Well, luckily,
bandwidth.
I was on Sprint, so
Yeah, but I mean, if
and
you
I was
go-
able. I had none of the problems that I had when I was on AT&T
AT&T.
when I was out there
Yeah.
the previous CES. The previous CES, trying to tweet, check in, whatever you were trying to do,
you couldn't do it almost.
it was like trying to, I don't know, something difficult that you would try to do normally. And like last year, or it's still this year, but last CES, it wasn't that difficult. And I mean, that's really how I gauge it, is like, that's how you can see how people's network can handle you or not. Because when you get to that kind of level where there's like hundreds of thousands of people like in one place using like half of them are probably using one service and the other half are using the other, that's when you really see the integrity of someone's network. And it's just kind of like, it's just going here. So
And
they
I-
don't just have iPhones and iPads on their network, though, do they? They always blame it on the iPhone and the iPad.
Yeah,
but
they got a ton of other
stuff
stuff.
as well.
yeah.
yeah, but
It's the network in general that is being
Yeah.
overloaded by all the people they've got on them.
Yeah, because more and more of the phones and stuff. I mean, yeah, iPhone, the iPad, they have ability to get on the internet, but so does like every other phone out there, And more people are being more and more connected to the internet every day via their phones or whatever. So
yeah, I think that the fact that they're blaming it is kind of a two-way street, because they were the iPhone and iPad launch partners.
Flagship.
The only partner until now, like recently, the only partner 3G carrier that had the iPhone. So I think that they're complaining. I think that they should have made upgrades when they figured out that they were going to do have the iPhone. Like the first day, I would have been like scrambling, putting all my money that I thought that I was going to make from the iPhone into new towers and things.
well, they were probably just thinking, oh, it'll be okay.
Yeah, they'll probably just. I think now, granted, I do side with AT&T a little bit, saying that honestly, who could have predicted the iPhone was going to be this big? That it was going to lead to multiple devices, like multiple iPhones, thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of people switching to AT&T just because they have the iPhone. I don't think that we
They
can.
should have known by the time the 3GS came
Oh, yeah,
out.
they should
should
have.
known how big the iPhone was.
Oh, yeah.
And upgrade
I think
the
they just
towers.
didn't want to admit it because they're like, oh crap, now we're gonna
Yeah.
have to upgrade all this crap. And
But I do think that if the same actions were taken by Sprint, Sprint or Verizon or T-Mobile, if they followed the same path, I think it's lack of action on AT&T's part. So if I think Verizon
Yeah.
would be in the same
they're
boat.
they're
if-
always upgrading. The
Yeah.
other I don't know about Sprint, but I know Verizon's always putting up new towers.
Yeah.
they're always putting up new towers. That's like I don't know what their number one thing would be, but that putting up new towers and expanding their network is like number 2 in their thing. So, you know.
So, Jeff, let's move on to our bookmarks here. We got 2 bookmarks. One of them is actually in use right now, and
Yeah.
the one that you've just pulled up. You want to tell us a little bit about this and how we came to finding
find
this? Yeah.
Yeah, so this is motionshare.com. And basically what it is like it's like a royalty-free like animated background loopiness. It's got a bunch of other
they've
stuff
got,
too.
They've got some stock video clips.
Yeah, but like it's like royalty-free stuff. You don't have to worry about like accrediting anybody
dude,
for
this
it
looks cool.
and all that junk.
What is
And
this?
basically what it does, if you can see behind me, this is one of their loops. It's most of them are MOV files.
Yeah, but the cool thing is they have option. You can download it in FLV, MOV, and also MPEG-4, I think.
Yeah, which with Wirecast MOV works the best.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't have to do anything to it. So I think it's pretty sweet because like
it's definitely something. I mean, it's good if you're in video production.
if you need any kind of like loopiness of videos or just something that you're looking for, you can pretty much search it and you'll more than likely find it on here. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's a pretty big database.
They've
of
got
stuff.
I mean, like they have collections on here that have 150, 200
Like the
videos.
collection we've been going out is
The Ferris wheel.
Ferris
Yeah.
wheel.
It's got
Red
150.
Ferris wheel.
Yeah,
It's got 156,
58.
58
Yeah.
videos in it, and each one of those is like one of these.
Yep.
And so this guy's uploading, they're different colors, and you can pick which what you want.
And it's actually community based because you can like if we wanted to, if you went in, like After Effects or something and made
yeah,
something
you
like
can
this.
make them and upload them yourself.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they've got some other things. They've got a forum so you can ask questions and things. But I think it's pretty cool. And for something like a church ministry or something, like if you're gonna do motion backgrounds behind the PowerPoint or something,
Yeah, like
say like a media shout or
Mm-hmm.
something, you could use these. And I think it's pretty cool. They've also got some different they've got like some. These kind of remind me like this is actually an kind of a different video clips portraying like different events. Like this is actually a chapter in the Bible, but pretty cool.
yeah, and like people will upload whatever they want, and
Yeah.
it's just sort of like here you go.
Yeah, and I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds you could go in here, and they're all, especially in the Ferris wheel thing, they're all different to an extent. Like we had talked about, he may just be like switching the hue. Not granted, he
Yeah,
could,
so like
but
like on here we got like that's completely different.
Yeah.
And then this is what we use for well, we don't use that one yet. And then this is like PB at night, and that's what we're using right now. And
yeah,
we got all these different ones that we've added on here. So I mean, it works out pretty well.
and they're all free, no account needed. I mean, you can make an account if you want to, but
And a majority of them, they always try to make them seamlessly loop.
yeah,
If
which is
they're
good.
if they're those background, the ambient background things.
yeah,
We need some more space videos.
yeah, they do have some space videos, but
There's all 3 of them at the
Oh,
moment.
yeah.
All 3
really?
of them.
these look pretty cool though. We might have to get some of these, download some of these. Throw this up on the screen real quick. Let's look at this. And he's got you can actually preview it on the website, so you don't have to worry about
it
downloading
plays it in the player, so you're not like, oh, what the crap am I downloading?
Yeah. If this
And you
ever
can
loads.
share them and
It's pretty
flag
cool.
it if you don't like it. Kind of bad content things.
This is pretty cool though. This would be kind of freaky to have.
Yeah,
as
you
your
have the
background, but-
moon slowly coming up, and
Yeah.
I mean it's kind of cool because you can just do things with it.
Yeah.
It's really very difficult to videotape the moon. And I'm pretty sure that's just a static image just moving across the screen slowly, but. These are community Smoothie. This isn't just one guy. This is multiple people, sort of like YouTube, but with like not better content. But I'm just saying like cleaner, more production oriented content.
Well, it's just a more video. It's just a more centric to what we need.
Yeah.
Thing. So it's
It's
pretty
like
cool.
it's like going onto a website full of desktop backgrounds.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
It's the same thing, but it's just video files.
Yeah.
Well, it says on the site, basically, user submitted under Creative Commons.
That's cool. So, pretty awesome. Then our second one here is
I used this weekend, which is shipped now. And you're wondering, what's shipped, Jacob? Like, maybe I bought me a shirt that I made. And it's really cool. It's uberprints.com. You basically go on there. You can pick, like, different shirts or hoodies or whatever. They don't have any beanies or anything like that. But pretty much any kind of shirt that you want, polo shirts and stuff like that. You can embroider. You can silk screen. You can, do whatever you want. Get something for your dog. They got some really nice shirts. And they got all these different colors. And then they have basically three different styles. You have embroider. You have silk screen. And then you have digital printing. Digital printing is the best way to go if you're only wanting like one shirt or like two shirts. It's
dude, that's cool.
it's halfway. It's not as cheap as silk screening in the sense of if you're ordering massive quantities, but it normally gets to your house within 3 days. Like I did a shirt. What was it? Wednesday? Was that when I did it?
I don't know.
I think it was when I was sick. No,
That would have been
Thursday.
Thursday,
It was Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. And today it shipped. So,
yeah.
I mean, you're literally, if it would have been on a weekend,
Yeah, I would have taken.
Easter and all that crap's happening, but if it would have been during the week, I would have had it in 3 days. And it comes to like U.S. mail or whoever. I think they'll ship to outside of the U.S. also. But I think you got to, pay for like VAT or whatever, So, but hey, it's pretty sweet. My shirt, I got just a black T-shirt, and it's got my little logo I made that's like my face basically. I got it like massive on the face of it in white.
Yeah.
And on the back of it, up by the neck, says JacobRoberts.me. And it was like $30 with shipping, so.
And of course,
That's one shirt too.
this is kind of like Cafe Press or Zazzle in the sense that anyone can order. But I think the main thing that they focus on is more. So, like, I talked to Jacob, if we ever decided to give away shirts or something,
We would order a bunch of them.
we'd
and
order
give
like
them away.
30 or
Yes.
something like that.
And
Because
do
they,
them silk screen. And the cool thing about the digital printing versus silk screen, digital printing, you could upload a picture of your face, like a photo of your face, and it would print out a photo of your face.
So essentially,
because
like-
it actually prints directly onto the T-shirt. It's not.
it's not pressed on.
Yeah,
there
it's
or
not
anything.
ironed on or anything like that. So it's not going to like come off and stuff. It almost looks like silk screening, but it's just printed on, and you really wouldn't even notice for the most part. And but silk screening, of course, is color by color. So you get charged by how many colors you have and all that stuff. So, but it's pretty cool. So
It may not be the most viable option for one shirt, but it's definitely, I would say it's probably better
well, hey,
than Zazzle or
if you
Cafe
want
Press.
one custom shirt,
I got you.
I mean, I
$30
did order
is
like
fine.
a massive size
Yeah.
because I'm a big fatty. And as Nick drinks all of his water down his chest.
Oops.
And I mean, of course, a 3X shirt would probably cost more than a, small or something.
Yeah.
But, hey, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's uberprints.com.
They got tons of shirts. And you can get them embroidered too. They do like an image to embroidery
Yeah.
kind of deal. So that's pretty sweet. You can upload your logo and get it embroidered on your shirt. So
Yeah, they've got and they've got some name brands on here. Earlier, I was showing a
Oh, yeah.
Columbia fishing shirt. They've got a bunch of different things.
oh, they got
That's
like
cool.
they got like jackets, like a camping jacket or something if you want to like, get that custom made. I don't know. But it's really sweet because it's just they carry all the different lines of shirts and pants and shorts and
So like, this is American
jackets.
Apparel, which is pretty good stuff.
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So just
Yeah.
saying.
Uberprints.com.
And
And
they got an on-site customizer, of course, and they got a library of clip art that you can choose from too. If you don't want to be creative, you can just find something and put it on there, or upload your own stuff. So
All right. Well, I guess that pretty much does it for this episode of Tech Weekly. You can follow Jacob on Twitter, twitter.com/FREAKINHUGE, youtube.com/freaking as well for the vlogs. And Jacob, you finished your website, jacobroberts.me.
.me.
Yeah. Then you can follow Carlo on Twitter, twitter.com/Carlo Brown. You want to switch to him real quick?
Oh, sorry. Let me switch to Carlo.
Yeah. And then also you can follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/thatnickjones. And sounds like I'm getting a service
Why
call.
does it have
or
a
something.
picture of you, but I'm there?
That's weird. Oh, I
What's
think it
going
was because
on?
I was testing it one day or something. Anyway, guys, so until next time, Jacob's going to have to get ready for this one.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
I'm Nick Jones.
I'm Jacob Roberts, and
I'm over here.
And this is Tech Weekly. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you later.
Peace.